Today we start with a big one, and we are obliged to start with that because Fabrizio Romano yesterday, for his very first video in Italian on his YouTube channel, spoke about the future of Thiago Motta on the bench of Juventus. And honestly, it's not that much the message that annoyed me, because the message is quite clear, let's not lie about it, but it's more two things that annoyed me. One, the timing on the 12th of March 2025. Secondly, it's the fact that he said it. And we are speaking about the biggest one of Calcio Mercato. We are speaking about Fabrizio Romano, that when he's speaking means that the things are quite close. I will tell you more in a second. Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel, I hope you're all doing well. So before speaking about Fabrizio Romano, together with Matteo Moretto, let's give you the latest update of La Continassa. Good news, because 3 players yesterday resumed training. Conceição, Savona and Rui, they didn't train yet with the team, so we'll have to be patient, wait a bit more to understand if one of them, the 2 of them, or maybe the 3 of them will be on the bench for the big game of this weekend, Fiorentina-Juve, that could already, unfortunately, be decisive for the future of Thiago on the bench of the Bianconeri. Yesterday, the other players that were training with the team, well, Thiago Motta asked them to do physical tests. His intention, his idea is really to understand who is the most informed, who can play with the most intensity, to understand who he can put on the field against La Viola. Now, is it a good idea or no? I have absolutely no idea, because a few days ago I told you that the performances, the results, the test of Koopmanners were never that good in the season, and then we saw how he performed or how he didn't perform against Atalanta, so I am not sure. But anyway, we will discover that on Sunday during the game Fiorentina-Juve. Just a quick update, yesterday I made a video, and thank you for all of you that took the time to watch it, because it apparently, according to all of you in the comment section, you enjoyed the video because it was quite informative. The one of Agnelli going back to Juve, possibilities, yes or no? Well, yesterday the big question on Corriere dello Sport was Juve, torna Agnelli, Juve, will Agnelli come back? And today they give themselves an answer, non torna, he's not coming back. Why are they saying that? Because yesterday there was via actually a non-confirmation. So John Elkann via that said, no, these voices are only rumors, we cannot confirm that, and there is no possibility that Agnelli, without mentioning Agnelli, but that there are possible structure changes in the hierarchy of Juve, so forget about it at the moment. Now, when I'm telling you that, yesterday I spoke about it in the video, I told you I don't think that there are possibilities for Agnelli to come back at the end of the season, which some people were already saying. They were speaking about end of the season, Agnelli back with Red Bull, with Jurgen Klopp. I told you, that Jurgen Klopp story, I don't know. That Red Bull story, minority quotes, why not? But I really don't believe that they will take over Juve. On the other side, I don't believe that Agnelli will come back at the end of this season. If really we want to see Agnelli back at Juve, it will probably be towards 2027. And you know why? And if you don't know why, go back and watch a video that you enjoyed. Now, after 3 minutes, we are here to speak about the big, huge topic. Yesterday, on his YouTube channel, Fabrizio Romano and Matteo Moretto, together they were speaking in Italian for the Italian community, and of course they started speaking about Juve. We know it, Juve is the most important team of Italy. If really you want to launch a new product when you're speaking about football, you speak about Juve. And that's what he did yesterday, saying actually that there is the real concrete possibility to see a change on the bench of Juve in the month of June, so at the end of this season. Today, the possibility for Thiago Motta to stay at Juve also next season are under the 50%. I believe, he said, that something has been broken in the relationships with the entire environment. So speaking about the management, speaking about the locker room. Look, Matteo Moretto confirmed, so yesterday they were aligned in what they were saying. Why was I annoyed with the message? Well, the message not that much, because I know it, we know it, we are speaking about it since a few days now, and we don't see anybody that is not confirming that. There is nobody that is really going strong in saying Thiago Motta is the coach for the next few years. We didn't hear Giuntoli really saying that, literally saying that, and even if he would said that, He already said it last year. Do you remember about the jewel of the project that was Allegri, and then a few months later he was gone. We didn't hear John Elkann, we didn't hear Scanavino or President Ferrero, so nobody is really confirming. And also the message that are sending to the papers is not really like, stop your BS, we really want Thiago Motta, and he is the coach for the project because we really believe in him leading that project. They spoke about the project, they didn't speak about Thiago leading it. So that's why I tell you, the message, it's not that I'm really doubting it, but I'm annoyed about two things. The timing, I told you, and then that he said it. Timing. Look, we still have 10 games to play. We have 10 games to play. I know that a lot of Juventini already turned the page. They closed the chapter of season 24-25, and I really believe, like I told you last season, exactly the same word, pay attention. It's not over. It is not over. There is a huge, big, important objective to reach in qualifying to Champions League. If you don't do that, I can already tell you, like I told you again last year, it's a total disaster, huh? Because everything changed. Not only the bench of Thiago Motta. Some people will tell me, Beppe, let's make sure that we don't qualify so that we are stopping with Thiago. No. Forget about it. It's not only Thiago. It's everyone. It's all your favorite players, the one that you believe in, probably the one that has the most value that will go away. It's the fact that you will not be able to attract players. So not qualifying to Champions League would be a total disaster. You're doing three steps back instead of one ahead, or even starting again from zero. You start at -3. So pay attention for that. The season is not over. If you are putting these kind of news on the 12th of March, and especially Fabrizio Romano, well, that's a huge one. You're even adding more pressure. Is he doing his job? Absolutely, he's doing his job. I'm not angry with Fabrizio. Huh? He's doing his job. He has an information. He double-checked it, and that's where I am not annoyed with. That while checking it, well, probably if he goes out that strong, it's because he found confirmations. Because probably he heard from other entourage of coaches that Juventus is already speaking with other ones. He probably tried to check with Juve without finding any confirmation of we continue with Thiago Motta. So that means that he has open doors to speak about it. We know it when Fabrizio is speaking, it's close. It's close to really, it will happen. So him saying it in the 12th of March, I think it's wrong, because that means that Juventus is not really backing up, is isolating the coach, is not supporting the coach until the end of the season. That the decision has been taken for next year, I told you, 1.38% is the chances for Thiago to remain. These were my percentages. But when Fabrizio Romano is coming out with that big news, well, it's a big one. And then I'm annoyed, not because of the future of Thiago on the bench of Juve, but because you're adding unnecessary pressure, and the pressure is already extremely high on a team, on a coach, that they have one objective. So if I was Juve, I would already stopped with Thiago. I would already have stopped with Thiago. Or I back him up until the end of the season, or I mean game by game, but I back him up until I take the decision that it can be until the Fiorentina game, that can be the next one or the next one whenever a disaster is happening, but I backing up, giving him the feeling at least that he's supporter so that he can really focus on the field, or I stop, because these voices are really dangerous, and that could be a total collapse in seeing Juve maybe not even reaching the top 4. So that's why I was extremely annoyed. Then, if you're looking at the pages today, yesterday, the week before, and probably the tomorrow and the week after, they will continue to do a casting of coaches that you remember the first day that we saw them were after the words of Giuntoli in front of microphones. What does that mean? That he didn't convince, that the words of Cristiano didn't convince about continuing that project, the same project with the same leader. That means that the day after they went all in with already some names, and it continues since. Look, the names that I'm hearing are not all convincing me, I tell you. I'm not really convinced about, especially today, because one, Gazzetta dello Sport is pushing for Pioli that is going ahead, that is taking credits, that is going higher and higher into that list. Is Pioli the one that I want? No, it's not the one that I want. Why are they pushing for Pioli? Because it's one that already worked in a difficult environment like the one of Milan, that won the Scudetto there, that knows Italy, that knows Serie A, also the recent Serie A, and on top of that, he's a player that already played at Juve. He played at Juve, won the Champions League, even if he was super young back then, but it's a player that knows the environment that would really come back to Juve, and that's why the name of Pioli is growing day after day after day. Is it a coach that I want at Juve? No, because I think that if you go with Pioli, regardless that he will do well, not do well, whatever, it's also in terms of image, it's also the message that you send to the team. Guys, it's not Scudetto that we want to go for. And that's one. On the other side, there is another name on Tuttosport that is annoying me even more probably than Pioli. It's the one of Mancini. Why Mancini? Mancini is growing according to Tuttosport because in Juventus they are thinking about some names, and Mancini is one that is free at the moment, so he could be there after the Fiorentina game. It's one that already plays with young players. It's one that has experience. It's one that has leadership. Already won in Italy, already won in UK, already won with La Nazionale Italiana. So it's a coach with experience, with aura, with charisma, if we want. But again, it's a player. It's a coach that I personally do not want at Juve. And that's what Tuttosport is telling us. Juve, sale Mancini. Mancini is growing. On the other side, they are telling us pay attention to Gasperini. Gasperini that is actually decreasing. Why? Because the entourage of Gasp already spoke with Roma. And not only about his contract and the length and the project, but they already started speaking about Mercato. Mercato, about what are the feasibility, this and that. That doesn't mean that it's a done deal with Roma, especially because Atalanta is playing for the Scudetto now at -3. And pay attention, this weekend they are playing against Inter, if I'm not wrong, so they could possibly go at equal points of Inter, but Gasperini closer to Roma today than to Juve. And that's what they are telling us. There are also other names, and we heard all of them. We heard so many of these names. We heard, if I'm not wrong, Gasperini, Conte, Mancini, Pioli, Xavi, De Zerbi, Tudor, Klopp, Allegri, even caretakers like Brambilla from the Next Gen or Magnanelli from the Primavera. We heard so many names. How much do I believe from the Toto casting? Well, not that much. I think that we, the media, the fans, are putting more names than actually Juventus has really in that list. I think that if Juve is thinking about another alternative, they are probably thinking about 3-4 name max, and they don't go to 50 names, the one that we heard at the moment. I even heard about, what was it there? Chiellini taking back Juve for a few months. So let's not exaggerate. And you know how I comfort myself in Juve has at least some good ideas, so clear ideas, is because today we are the 13th, well, 2 days ago, on the 11th, Tuttosport was writing something totally different writers of the articles, but today they go with Salandin that is saying up Mancini. He has more chances to go with Juve because he's growing. I already told you what. 2 days ago, on the same paper written by someone else, they were telling us that the chances of Mancini to go to Juve were decreasing in the same paper. So it's 2 days ago. 2 days ago. So 2 days ago it was decreasing. Today is increasing, going up. I don't know, guys. It's probably a bit too much to me. But it's the month of March. It's the 13th. Juventus is not doing well. So we will speak about Mercato of players. We'll speak especially about Mercato of coach. We know it. That's the business when you're not fighting for the Scudetto. If we would have won against Atalanta, probably today we would not have spoken about coaches or players, but probably about the game of Fiorentina, how to face them, who are the players that we need to watch out for, like, for example, Moiskin or Fagioli. Yeah, he closed with the news, the one of the Next Gens, ragazzi, because yesterday Next Gen played in a game, the 29th of the league, where yesterday it was not a beautiful game. Honestly, they didn't play that well. The 2 games before, they played really much better, even if we didn't win. Yesterday they played not a great game, but they won, and that's the most important thing. How did they win? At the 94th minute, a penalty there. Vasilija Adzic is taking that penalty, is putting it on the right side of the goalkeeper. 1-0, 3 points. That's the most important thing. He was extremely happy, celebrated as crazy, and that brings us at the moment as we speak at the 10th position. That position that is equal to participating to the playoff, which is really, really beautiful, because playoff, you know it, you have an open window to go up even if it's really difficult time because you have 10 games to play to qualify to Serie B, but we know it. More you play, more you have experience for these players, more you are there in that competition. Otherwise, you have a really long term before you start again and resume the new season. But it's beautiful. It's really beautiful that we are 10th. A few months ago, we were speaking about avoiding Serie D, that is amateurish level. So that's really good. And then, of course, if my boy is putting us the 3 points, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to put a maximum of like, continue to subscribe. Do we see each other for a second video? Maybe a second video, not the live Juve talk, because I postponed it to tomorrow because I already found 2 guests for tomorrow, and I think that you will enjoy it. Grazie, forza, Juve.